Well, welcome everybody. Thank you so much for coming out today to the symbiotic relationship of Minecraft content creators and artists. It's a long title. I think I got it. So
You did not.
did I not?
It's right in front of you.
Late. It was late. You're the one with the remote. She's going to sink me today. I guarantee it. But anyway, welcome. This is going to be a really fun panel. It's going to be all about art and how it integrates not only in the fan community, but also how it then bleeds into content creation, whether it be via branding, clothing, so on and so forth. So let's go through everybody on the panel today. My name's Martin, InTheLittleWood. I'm a content creator, and I dabble in a bit of art within my own projects as well. We have got CherriFire.
Hi, my name is CherriFire, and then so I sort of work on a lot of thumbnails for a lot of YouTubers. I also do sort of my own stuff, so I dabble in content creation myself, so it's kind of nice to be able to do my own branding and stuff.
Hi, I'm CC. I am one of the artists for the Hermitcraft trading card game, the MCC trading card game, Clash Out, and then on the streaming side of things, I'm also a caster for several events.
Hi, I'm Luann, also known as Lemonthyne. I do mostly concept art for character designs, but I also dabble in all sorts of things that I can get my hands on. I love being a jack of all trades, but of course as well, I am also a content creator.
Hi, I'm Julia Cocoabats. I'm kind of an illustrator, graphic designer, kind of like a guy they throw out problems that when they arise, and I just do whatever at this point, really.
And then we are missing one person today. Hoffman was unfortunately unable to make it in human form, but we've got little block form for today.
We make do.
And we're still going to have Hoffman's artwork appearing, and we're going to be talking through it. Cherry's been having conversations, and apparently some of the messages from Hoffman are quite funny verbatim, so we'll get a read of those in a little bit. So we're going to start off by going through people's portfolios, the stuff that they make. It's one of the most beautiful slideshows, this whole thing you're going to see today.
Cherry cooked.
So good.
Oh yeah,
I put the slideshow together, but I kind of just went through Julia's portfolio. So
She rated me. She
It's
sent
like-
me that, and I was like, why is it just me, please?
It's exclusively Julia.
Julia's art is very wallpaperable, so that's probably why.
I was so panicked about this, by the way, because they were like, hey, we're going to show off our portfolios, and then what's on your slide? I was like, I don't know. I sort of panicked, but I realized actually going through a bunch of the projects that I've worked on recently that I've got a bunch of pixel art. That's something I quite enjoy. I really enjoy retro gaming and things like that. And some stuff has been multi-purpose. So the character in the bottom right corner and the far right of the screen started off as me learning game development. I picked up Godot, free software, really fun, and I created basically a Tamagotchi pet that Stream could interact with. It didn't last very long. One, because they didn't feed it, and secondly, because it just completely spammed chat. Like, I only knew how to do it via chat, ! Feed, or whatever else it may be. So it was a project that was retired pretty quick. Maybe one day, if I figure out extensions, we'll go down that route. But they now work as lovely animated emotes as well, which is fun. The centerpieces, the very sort of beige and sort of yellow spots, that was an in-game newspaper on Pirates SMP. It was called The Noisy Parrot. It was a way to spread information and mostly propaganda as well. Just anything that would benefit my character and get me ahead between the various factions. But it was a really fun project, and you'd have things like treasure hunts inside of there, so there'd be either a crossword, a Sudoku, whatever it would be, and it would spit out coordinates that people could find buried treasure on one of the many islands. And I somewhat brought that over to the next project that I was in, which was Misadventures. So the stamps across the top above the word wood, they were the various stamps when I set up a postal service, which is what the large rat, which was my first ever organic build. I learned that phrase from Pearlescent Moon. But I set up a post office, and it was my excuse, one, for connecting a server that is quite widespread and it's hard to reach people, but also you can't do anything at anyone's bases unless you have build permissions. And the only way I could get that is if I feigned interest by being a postman. Like, I need to be able to open your chest to give you your mail. So it was one big ruse, the whole thing. And then the bits in the bottom left corner are not the entire skins. I only worked on the headpieces and the ears. But one of my earliest sort of contributions to an SMP was the Power SMP project, Rats SMP, where I created ears, hats, and various other things, which was really fun. So I'd work, again, in this capacity, working with artists. They developed the base skin. I would make the hats and the ears. Cherry would always tidy them up because I'm not the best at pixel art, but it's fun. It was a really nice back and forth. But yeah, so as much as I'm a content creator, I realized that I do a fair bit of art as well, which is nice.
Anyone can be an artist.
True. We've got cherry stuff.
And this is my portfolio. It's sort of just a small collection because my work is kind of big. I do a lot of thumbnails. So those are two life series thumbnails that I did. I was really proud of. And then the bigger illustration is it's a bit larger than what I actually ended up putting there, but I made it for my own merch recently for Bannerfall SMP. So it's a big notebook. And so it's nice to be able to do like my own things for that, where I didn't have to pay an artist because I did it myself. But it is time consuming, so there's like a give and take to it.
It's a cheat code.
It's
a cheat code.
It's a little bit of a cheat code, but
It really
was so
is.
time consuming.
It's so good though.
It takes so much
It's a cheat
time.
code of 10 years of doing art. Yeah.
It took so like developing the skill to do it takes so long, and sometimes doing them myself. I hate doing my own thumbnails. I'm like, I understand why people pay me to do them instead. I don't like doing my own thumbnails. I really don't. But yeah, I do stuff like that a lot of times. Is I get handed the illustrations for a lot of
my live series stuff.
Yeah.
The thing that I enjoy is that there'll often be these additional layers of like hooks or like Easter eggs and stuff like that. Sometimes I'll come to you and like the bottom one, I'm like, oh, I would love this scene from Arrietty because people were teeny tiny. But then there'll be ones where like you'll sneak in like an old like Dogwarts reference from Third Life and things like that. So
the funny thing about the Secret World of Arrietty thing is you told me like the premise of the episode,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I was already making this before you finished the episode.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my god, the
So
timing.
we were on the same wavelength for that
regardless.
one.
I love that.
But yeah, it's also like if you get a fan to do your art, I do sneak in a lot of stuff that you have no idea about.
Yeah.
I'm
I
sure
learned
there's a
after
ton
the
that
fact.
you still don't know about.
Oh yeah. Every so often I'll get an inbox on Tumblr which is like, hey, did you know this? Or like, what kind of drove you to put that in the piece? I was like, didn't know it was there.
My favorite
clue.
was for Last Life, or not Last Life. Sorry, it was Limited Life. I put the Dogwarts flag on your skin, and I told you, I said, hey, just so you know, I put the Dogwarts flag on the skin. If you don't want that, I can take it out. And you didn't say anything.
Yeah.
And then someone was like, you have the Dogwarts flag on your skin. You were like, I didn't know that.
I genuinely remember being live when someone posed that to me. I was like, not a clue. I just thought it was a bit of like flavor. I thought it was choral, I think, because it was a very chorally season, that skin with the Mean Girls stuff.
but yeah, I do like the sort of secret stuff.
The little callbacks.
Yeah.
This is mine. I mostly do the trading cards, and I worked on alongside IB called Devil Art on Twitter. We worked on the actual layout and the graphic design stuff. Well, I'll show you some more of that later. But I think in total, I've done the most cards for the Hermit TCG. If any of you have any of like the item cards, like the Builder or Redstone, that's all done by me. So I think everyone, if you have the Hermit TCG, you're guaranteed to have at least one of my cards. But then also, I do thumbnails. I did a thumbnail, that one, the dragon one, that's for CCSMP Cherry's server.
That I definitely named after you.
Yeah, definitely. Just yeah.
It's Jerry's Cobblemon server, but it's CCSMP. It's
Yeah, so I'm CC of CCSMP. And then the other thing is I've been trying to get into doing some more 3D modeling stuff or using the Minecraft skin. So that is a thumbnail from Soul Hunt, which is a session SMP that we have been doing for a while. And I also do some emotes. I'm constantly being shouted at to do more of them as well.
I guess out of interest, with the 3D stuff you're doing,
Yes.
what programs are you using? You like a Blockbench?
So
3ds?
I use Blockbench. I
Nice.
tried using Cinema or like Blender where you can
Yeah.
do like the lighting stuff, but I kind of like doing built-in lighting,
Yep.
where I will like go on the skin and paint it. I'm using a technique by a friend of mine called Jam Pop Bong. They like go on the thing and paint on all the lighting, and it means you can only use it in that one specific pose, but I think it makes it feel more like inbuilt into it feels like it's an actual screenshot from the game
Yeah.
rather than being like I feel like when you get too much realistic lighting, it stops being Minecrafty.
Yeah, I mean, I know even in Blockbench as well, it has an option where you can do flat texture, so you just get the raw colors, or you
Yeah.
can do world shading, where you will have darker sides, lighter sides. Do
And-
you just go with a flat and then you shade it up afterwards, or do you think shaded first?
Depends on the thumbnail, really.
Fair, yeah.
For Soul Hunt, I went for a very kind of like monochromatic color scheme of like, because it's the concept of the series, you got souls and shadows. Souls are blue, shadows are purple. So I tried to make sure there's always a bit of that. And then something I also did is I went through and made like a mask version of every person's skin,
Nice.
where it's just solid black that I could then just color and edit really easily, and I could do it in the videos as well to give like a very like just unified feel to all of it. Don't know how clickable it is, but I think it looks cool.
Yeah, it really pops.
Oh boy. Okay. Where to start? Guys, I do all sorts of stuff, TBH. First off, the top one up there, that is a Quag thumbnail. I don't know how many people you watch Quag, but I do their thumbnails. And the process for that is really interesting because I really enjoy a client that gives me creative freedom, and they trust my ability with my ideas, and they'll just be like, hey, we need a thumbnail today. And I'll be like, I got you. And it's taken some time figuring out like the style exactly I want to go for like thumbnails, because I do mostly character designs, which is not the art style you should be doing really for thumbnails. Because if you don't know, certain designs sell better for thumbnails. It is interesting going from like what you see below, just that is a starting soon screen from my channel, which is a completely different vibe to the energy of the above thumbnail. I originally, when I was doing thumbnails for Quag, I did not do any like post editing, but if you can see like on the like little cube earth, there's like a little bit of like glow to it. So I've been experimenting with that more, but I also do stuff for myself a lot. Yes, as Cherry says, it is so much easier, but also so hard at the same time. I struggle a lot to do my own stuff. It's why I don't have the rest of my stream assets all the same. They're all the timeline of the art style is completely thrown off. But outside of thumbnails, I promise I don't just do thumbnails. I also do models, which is that little green guy up there. That's Klepto. That's my baby. That's my son.
That's all I've been staring at.
Yeah, it's pretty mesmerizing. This is a recent investment. I haven't been doing like modeling for long, but I figured, I really enjoy Minecraft as like a medium. There's like so much you can do with Minecraft. And once I learned that Blockbench just has a modeling feature, like a low poly modeling function, I was like, I need to get on that. And now I also do models for SMPs and stuff. It can range from anything. I also do like the little like PNGs and stuff. I did a lot for Bannerfall. The cup and pen and paper for the Farkling, I did those as well.
Love Farkling.
Yeah, I did.
We're all patiently, or I say impatiently, waiting for my dice still. They are en route, I think.
So I do all sorts of that stuff. And then below that is the most complicated thing on here, I think. This is a world map for Bannerfall.
Is this public anywhere, by the way?
It is public. It's been public.
Oh, okay. I was going to say, this is my first time seeing the wider version. I feel like I've seen maybe like the center crop of it, but I've never seen the full thing with the legend and everything.
Yeah, so this version actually has what I, quote unquote, headcanon, which each like different colored green was supposed to be in real life biome. I love being very specific about that stuff, and I think it's interesting because in my head, I view Saluna as being more of a warmer place. I don't know if that's true, but you can see like lower down there with the yellowy, that's supposed to represent like a coastal desert. So I do stuff like that where I like to think about like what's the world like and how are people living in this. For example, Martin, you came up with a beautiful idea about the trade people that came in for Bannerfall through the boat.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm running with that. So I ended up putting like a little island. It's called the Trading Hub. It's a cute like little island right there.
That was me basically. If I went to own an app and was like, "Can we have this on the server?" and they'd be like, "Yeah, but how do we make it make sense?" Or like, "How can we import it like as a late edition?"
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Just have it come on a merchandise boat. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Part of commerce, part of travel. So it's nice, and you could just say it's far away.
Yeah,
I think originally I was like, the Wizards will send it by pigeon. I think it was something like that.
Yeah, so I actually made that work in lore where from the White Sea, as you said, it was really far off. So way far out, people come in and there's like this island that's like the trading hub where all like the merchants go to like get their stock all organized. And then they go up the rivers to Bannerfall, which aren't shown in the map because that would be so detailed. But yeah, a lot of these things that I do are mostly just me like, I'm going to play around with whatever idea I have, and if the people I'm working for, such as Pal, like it, we'll run with it. So I did that, and they're like, this is really cool. Can you please flesh this out more? And I did, and I colored it, and now it's like for everywhere for you guys to see. So yeah, that's
Sometimes art is just playing with dolls and just seeing what kind of silly stuff
that
you can
is
do.
my method.
Yeah.
That's my method.
I also enjoy that you do so many different styles as well. You've got 3D, pixel art, illustration, character work, like world mapping. Like it's just such a diverse interest and like investment in stuff.
I love
Really
dipping my
cool.
toes and everything.
I would highly recommend if you are wanting to get into art to try and learn multiple styles, because one time it's just good for variety. It's good for clients, and it's also just good to learn different skills. If you get so stuck in doing like cell shading, you might miss some just kind of like form study or anything like that. And it's like you can use skills from one bit and transfer it over and just develop lots of unique stuff.
I'd say the same for content creators as well. I know that I genuinely have my own personal interest in making artwork, but it's really good for me to try and learn some of these skills so that I can make reasonable requests when trying to commission somebody. It's not like, oh, hey, can you do this? You've got a 16-hour deadline. Like, it's unreasonable. So it's quite nice dipping a toe in the pool and understanding how the process works and what a realistic timeline would be when you go to a creator so that nobody's getting frustrated or disappointed by things. So, yeah.
So this is Hoffin's portfolio.
It just has so much stuff on
There's
it.
so much on it. It's so
cool.
packed. I'm going to try, me and Julie are going to try to talk about as much as we can.
Basically,
we work with Hoffin.
anytime you see a little fancy little model on Hermitcraft, that's probably Hoffin.
It's
That's like
usually
99% Hoffin.
Isn't there like a place on Hermitcraft literally named after
Yes.
Hoffin?
There is, yeah.
Yeah.
Very deserved.
Yeah. So then Hoffin does a lot of like 3D models in Minecraft.
Blockbench,
Blockbench,
right?
yeah. Hoffin uses Blockbench. I think Hoffin, what did Hoffin say about the specifics?
Hoffman is another person that I go to refine my stuff. So in the recent Bannerfall SMP, I tried my hardest to make the Frog head because he had these big bulbous eyes. For anybody who doesn't have context, they said we can have hats on the SMP, and they also said we can be non-human species. And I was like, can I be a frog and have these big bulging eyes? But they required additional large blocks. But then I also wanted to have this like really elaborate sort of flower, no particular kind of flower, I guess like a water lily at most, but trying to give something that much texture in such a small finite space. I got it kind of 60% of the way there, and then Hoffin and Cherry combined managed to like really round out the whole thing.
Yeah, so then Hoffman does a lot of work on like trying to push the limits of what's possible in vanilla Minecraft. So there's a lot of things here that Hoffman just sort of looks into. Is this possible? And if the answer is maybe, she'll put more work into it.
Like a little example of that a little bit later.
Yeah, we'll see a little
well.
example of that
I
later.
love how vanilla like styling Hoffman
Yes.
does stuff where like a lot of the time when you do 3D models, some people can go too detailed with it because it's like when you have the option to go like crazy with it, like doing big pieces, you can sometimes get it becomes too detailed and stops matching the world. And
Do you mean in like almost like the resolution of the textures?
yeah,
of
like
it?
so like
yeah.
Minecraft is what 8? Is it 8 or 16?
16, yeah.
16, yeah.
Minecraft-
I've noticed that a lot of people will make stuff, and I look at it and go, that would actually probably fit better in something like Hightail instead,
exactly.
or Vintage Story. Like it's making it fit the world. Actually, you can suspend disbelief that
It
it's
makes
not a
it
vanilla
it's
item.
somehow being less detailed makes it feel more real.
100%.
Yeah, like having talked to Hoffman, she spent a lot of time studying how models look in Minecraft, how textures look in Minecraft. So the new things she makes, like yeah, of course they pop because they're a little bit different, but you still look realistic enough to the space that they're in that it doesn't look completely out.
And it's so distinctly Hoffman as well.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
I feel like if you popped any of these into like actual Minecraft, you'd be like, yeah, that makes sense. That's a Minecraft update.
I think they should just add the green painting, frankly.
That's what I'm saying.
Hoffman, of course, is also, if you can go back a little bit. Hoffman is also a great skin artist. Hoffman is Scar's go-to skin artist, but she also done skins for a lot of different people. I know she's very passionate about clothing design, hats design, and it's like one of her favorite things to do.
Speaking of dolls, it's like she just plays dolls
Proper
with
dolls, yeah,
Scar.
proper dolls.
Yeah, Scar's her Barbie doll. She gets to dress him up every single time he needs something new.
And I'm yours, weirdly.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm Shauna's, apparently.
And now Julia Cocoabats.
Yeah, and my things, like I said, I do a little bit of everything. So you can see I had the absolute pleasure and honor to do Hermitcraft's rebranding last year because they were thinking about like, oh yeah, our logo is a little bit too similar to Minecraft's logo, which kind of limits what you can do when it comes to merge and things like that. So my job was basically, okay, I sit down and it's like, what elements can we take? Because Hermitcraft is such a long-running server that people are just attached to what it is and to the logo itself, even if it is just kind of the Minecraft logo. So like what elements can you take of it to still make it feel like Hermitcraft, but also as its own little thing that isn't necessarily, oh, this is just Minecraft. I'm also a merch designer. I've done merch. Here's some of my pins I did for Past Life, for Grian. I've done merch for Scar, for Jam, for Jimmy. And at the bottom you can see I've also been dabbling in doing some Twitch assets. So I did Twitch assets for Jimmy, for instance. Here's just a static illustration, but this illustration is actually animated. On stream. I've also done.
Is it like fully like frame animated, or is it like kind of like?
This is like puppet animation.
Like puppeting. Okay, so like kind of bobs up and down.
Yeah. And then I also did all the graphic assets for this year's Hermitcraft and Gamers Outreach charity.
Which were incredible, by the way. They were so good.
Stunning,
And it wasn't just like doing the graphical information for like a Be Right Back card, a starting soon screen. Julie put together like all of the major alerts. We had some alerts if donations to charity were a certain amount, they would appear in like bottom center. And basically the larger the donation, the larger it got. And some of them would fill the entire screen.
Oh yeah, they got big.
And like the documentation you sent over, because I was the one working with Stage, putting that together to put on everyone's setups. Like the documentation when you sent it was like 50 pages on a Google Doc of here's how to make it work.
50 pages?
You went, but it's because it was all the code for the custom CSS and the JavaScript and
yeah,
stuff.
because I had to write all the code to make it work.
So programmer and artist.
Yeah.
Can you tell which of us is like properly trained?
Julia is the most professional out of like all of us. Like,
I technically have a master's in CompC, so I have
Oh, technically, okay.
But then in doing the Hermitcraft charity event stuff, you actually got to go on Hermitcraft.
Yes, you did.
I
yeah.
did
That
go
was
on Hermitcraft. It was very fun. It was also very scary, and also my internet wanted to die.
Oh, no.
And I saw all of 4 chunks. It was like my friend
you
sent me a screenshot of like, oh, she's looking so wistfully into distance. I don't see anything. It's just mist.
So we're going to move.
Quick question before this.
Yeah.
Who here in the audience has one of Julia's pins? Oh, that's
wow.
a lot of hands.
Oh my
Guys,
gosh.
I love making pins so much, and they keep enabling me.
Everyone hired Julia Cocoabats to make your pins.
I've actually signed a lot of the back plates, which has been cool. I don't know if people coordinated that, but signing those back plates. Was there a discussion about that, having the back plates have an actual illustration to them, or was that?
That was all me, baby.
Was it? Nice.
I'm like, the big thing is I love pins. I am a pin collector, so I get really, really, like every time I go to, I'm talking about like doing merch with someone, I was like, can we maybe do pins? I am doing this fully because I like pins, but people like pins. And yeah, the backgrounds were like, because a lot of people like displaying them with the backgrounds.
Yes.
So that's why I wanted to do, like, there was an idea of doing a different background for every single pin, but then I went, okay, I do not have time physically for it. But every pin does have like a little detail that is related to that person. It's just like a little note, just like a little thing.
Little extra thing. So we're going to move on to the creative process, and I would like to apologize in advance because I know that mine with Cherry is up first. You're about to see the typical sort of stuff that content creators will send to the various artists and how they turn dirt into diamonds, quite literally.
This is my favorite thing.
There it is.
So Martin drew that. He drew that one, and then I drew this one out of it.
I would love to ask old me, did I decide to start with the blocky style, then transition to normal? Like, did I just give up on cubic angles, or was it the other way around? Did I draw the first character in the duck and think, you know what? I'm feeling pretty arty right now.
No, but this is so silly, but it's my favorite thing because it gives a direction.
Yeah.
Because you said something earlier about loving like creative freedom about it, and I love creative freedom, but sometimes there's too much freedom where I have no idea.
There's a balance. There's a
good balance.
Yeah.
And I appreciate when every client takes the time and effort to try and help the artist regardless. That's what counts.
So this is my favorite middle ground of here's like stick figures. So then I have.
Excuse me, they have volume.
They do have
They're
volume.
not stick figures.
We'll put it on the fridge.
They had a side profile and everything.
This is what I got from
Diminish me.
Astral Spiff for his content warning video. So it's very much like, here's the idea, and these are the guys I want in the background, and then so I just put more detail into it. But these are great. These are fantastic because you get more direction.
I would, like, as beautifully as it is, I'd love to see, like, just that as the thumbnail sometimes.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. We had a joke when I was first working with Martin. Some of my friends were like, you should just get Martin to make your thumbnails.
Oh, what
Make
we
it- and make
reversed
it
the
look like
roles
that.
for the start of video creation.
So just do that. And I was like, maybe one day.
I think color would be a whole new realm to me. I'm not ready
So
for
then
it.
Here's one from Grian for Hoffen. This is his pier and his raft, and he is holding his book up. And then Hoffen made that into this crazy poster that I think they put in Hermitcraft. So it's always really fun to see the start and then where it ends up in the end as well.
I think Grian clearly struggles with the same thing that I do, is not being able to draw perspective. I love the pier just trying to be in the frame.
It's trying. Hoffen didn't add the pier. Grian's pier is gone.
Just gonna be
Sometimes
completely
you need to
exerted.
override, okay? Sometimes you need to
Sometimes you
override.
do need to override.
About composition.
And then this is another one from
These are
Hoffen
so cool.
for Scar's little robot.
This is also the model that we were talking about,
Yes.
where Scar just kind of gave Hoffen like, oh, this is the general idea I have for the bot, and Hoffen went, okay, and then proceeded to give him different expression based on where, like, what hand it's in, if it's on head, if it's in overworld or nether. And it's like,
I don't know how she does it.
no, I don't know.
You can do that?
You can
can do
change the
that?
texture based on whether you're in the nether or not.
Yeah.
You can do it on time of
What
day.
wizardry is Hoffen doing?
It's great. It's all to do, for anybody who's interested, is item attributes. If you look that up on Google, there's literal generators where you can say, when it's daytime, have this. So for my frog character, he had the flower on his head bloom as the day goes on, and the leaves wilt and die and become the rogue cloak for the evening portion when on the server. And no keybinds required. It just happens along with the server update in the tick time. So yeah, there's a lot you can do with that. And again, it was Hoffen took me through all of that.
Yeah, but the thing is, like, a lot of people don't know it, like we see here.
Yeah, yeah.
And the thing is, so people don't ask for it, but Hoffen is very much an artist who is like, okay, but how can I push it further even than, like, there is the idea is really, really good, we can push it this much further.
Sometimes, like, a client just won't know what is possible, like, and so it's just sometimes it's just fun to just, like, here, look, there's something crazy.
This out.
Check this out.
So then this is one we
My
also did
boy.
for Bannerball. So fun fact about this one, we made this character like 3 days before I posted this portrait. No, actually, I think it was 2 days, something like that. I
was-
pulled Martin to a call. I was like, do you want to do this? And he was like, yeah, sure, why not?
Please don't do that to artists who
ever
you're
do
randomly
that.
commissioning.
Don't ever do that. We could do this because it was my idea and it was for a thing that I was planning. But I made the outfit and then I sent it to my friend Marble Groves, who made a full portrait from sketch to like finished full color in like 2 days. I did pay Marbles more for like the instant, like
Yeah, rush order pay.
rush order pay is very important. Don't ever do that. Don't ever do that. But we got away with this because Marbles is my friend and Marbles loves me and I love Marbles.
And Marbles is insane as well.
Marbles is crazy.
Marbles has lost their marbles, quite frankly. That's what I think's happened.
But yeah, we made this guy in 2 days. So, and he was awesome. You played a great
Yeah, he
character.
was. That was such a task. Just for context, if anybody didn't see it, I had my frog character on the server. Then I was playing Alistar from the Kingdom of Selûne coming along with King Ren. And I literally could have just played one or the other. I decided I was going to have 2 screens, one for each character, and use a foot pedal, an Elgato foot pedal to mute, press escape, alt tab, and then do the reverse so that I could swap between the characters in about 1.5 seconds.
Yeah.
And I was also voice acting both, and it was ridiculous, but kind of worked.
So there were a lot of moving parts for this.
Yeah.
And this is sort of the thing that's possible when you as like an artist and a creator like can work together.
Yes. Yeah.
And just get something done like instantly.
Instantly, yeah. Ooh.
Ooh, okay.
Lion
yeah.
Man.
A lot of text, guys. A lot of text. Sorry about that. I love love adding like tidbits of information. I love explaining my process in my concept art. These are concept art pieces, sort of reference pieces as well. The one on the left is Owen's Vampire SMP concept art. This was the original. This is the beginning. This is where it all started. And my, I guess, red flag with concept art is that I don't do what people do in, like, professionally. I don't do like thumbnail sketches of like the body language and the shape language and all that stuff. I just take a lot of concepts and I mush them together. So yeah, not professional at all, and that's why I usually only have like one page that is like really messy, like the one on the left, but the one on the right is a nice clean version. This is actually a extra like little redesign I just honestly did for fun. In Bannerfall we were having this masquerade ball, and Owen didn't really need a redesign because his character already had a mask, but I was like, no, I want to go above and beyond. Again, along with the thing like, just you wait and see what I can do. Yeah, and I figured out the lore for why he had it in the first place. I think we bounced around some ideas, but I was like, you know what, we're gonna build on the world lore through your character design. And that's one thing I really enjoy doing, is not only coming up with concepts that make sense for the character you're concepting, but coming up with concepts that feel like they live in the world they should exist in. And also on the vampire one, you can see I have like also a little design to show how the arm, like little like sleeve works, because I think it's important as well when you're making designs to not just think, oh, is this a cool design? You need to think, can your character actually wear this? Is it possible to get into this?
I was going to ask about
players will
that, but
thank you.
also from the design perspective of when you're designing something like this, so say on the Lion Knight outfit,
Yeah.
those red drapes there, do you, in your head as you're making it, because you often end up making the Minecraft skins as well, do you think about that limitation while designing, or are you like, nah, I'll just squeeze it in to the skin?
I honestly the latter, but I do try and keep in mind a lot for a lot of these designs, specifically for the Owen's like redesign. I took reference from like real world like outfits and stuff. I really like doing that. So those sleeves are manageable and easy, but in a Minecraft skin it can be difficult. But I have done that style of like rendering before for sleeves and stuff, so I knew it was possible. The tricky part is the armor, not the sleeves.
Yeah.
As fan artists have found out.
Yeah.
Thank you
Oh,
for
sorry, by the way.
Cosplayers.
all cosplayers.
Yeah, sorry about that. I don't know what Owen was thinking, but
Yeah,
because
Owen, come
I
on,
also
man.
had to
Please.
do that. I need you guys to understand. I also had to figure out how am I going to do this armor well? Because I don't draw armor like in my free time. But, you know, I had to sit down and do some research and do some studies and stuff like that. But that stuff you won't see because I don't keep that stuff of my process, which is not good. Oh, I didn't even know I had another side.
Yeah. Keep going.
Okay. Yeah. This is I did the concept art for the two little blorbos for Pal's Pirate SMP Cruppy and their Cowboy SMP little Narpy. And as you can see, these are what a professional would most likely do usually, is you would have these little different versions that are variations of each other, exploring different concepts and pushing shape language and design features. So you see with the Cruppy, I started off with just like a orb, like a little like slime orb. And that is the base. And then from there, I started experimenting with shape language and like, oh, what if we gave it arms and legs? And what if the arms were like wavy? Or what if it didn't have arms at all and started to look a bit more cat-like with the bottom one? So a lot of experimentation goes in the process of doing that. And for Narpy, you can see it was entirely different. But as you know, doing models in Minecraft, you can't really always get what you envision and what you want. So I originally thought it would be cool for Narpy's like little bits where there's the like yellow fur. I wanted that to have like a glow effect, which would just be the inverted cubes which if you don't know, the inverted cubes usually just look like the outlines you see on some art, which Hoffen does a lot as well, I believe. But yeah, that didn't work out. They ended up going with a test model that they were like, the test model is honestly perfect. I didn't do it. I think Rev did a test model, which was just a bare bones. It looked nothing like this. And they were like, you know what? This is good enough. We're happy with this, and they went with it.
Because sometimes you strike gold right away.
Yeah, sometimes simplicity is better. Never forget in designs that you don't have to overcomplicate your design to find something that is perfect.
I was just about to ask, like, cause, like, I know with like animation, like character designs, they'll often like just keep taking bits off until they have like this, what's the simplest version of it. So if you need to keep redrawing it for more animation or for merchandise and stuff, like what's the simplest version you can get of like the original idea?
It also depends on the medium you're working with. So like, for example, like a Minecraft model, you have to think about what are the limitations of this model that I can do. So obviously Hoffen is a lot more knowledgeable on different things you can do with Minecraft. And so Hoffen would have a better idea of how to probably implement maybe the first design of Narpy and make it like work. But sometimes, depending on your medium, say like animation, you need a character that can be redrawn because people are hand redrawing this, but a model is different. You make the model, you just got to make sure the animations are easy to do and you know the UV mapping looks good and all that stuff.
I love that we went back to the most dangerous version of Cruppy out of all of them. It was like, we'll add some spikes, then we'll soften up the design again. We just went back to villain, just straight villain. I hated Cruppy the whole time. Loved him, but hated him. But yeah.
Yeah, no, it was great. I love that process.
A fun little guy.
So we have more Hoffen.
Ooh.
We have more Hoffen. The skin is what Hoffen made in the end for Scar. And this is the mood board that I think
Scar made for her, yes.
Scar made.
This is like a different way, because we talked about clients providing sketches or like describing things, but this is another great way to kind of show the vibes you want to go with. For instance, here, Scar just throwing a bunch of ideas at a board, and Hoffen just takes it and goes, okay, what can we take? Which elements would be important? How can we make this? Like, how can we take elements from this, but make it uniquely Scar, for instance?
I maybe need to do it like that in the future. I just send you a wall of like Google image links. Yep. So you get like a stacking tower, but that might help you more in the future if I were to do that.
I mean, it's been working so far.
Yeah, true. Yeah,
different artists work differently. I find mood boards are okay. I like it when I make the mood boards though.
Fair. Yeah, if you want to take it.
If you're like, this is the vibe, then I get more creative freedom.
A common thing that like some people do like in actual concept arting for like proper like big media stuff is they'll do like photo bashing, where they'll basically combine existing images in new ways to just make weird kind of stuff. Like Star Wars is infamous for what's called greebling, where they just kind of find random things outside and just stick it on the side of stuff, just give it texture and flavor and character. And it's just like, it's a good way of just finding out new things that you didn't even think like, oh, I could use this as that. And it just lets you just go out of like the comfort zone or the expectations of it.
Here's my little stuff. I get to nerd about graphic design.
Hell yeah.
You know? So this is basically how I went about making branding for Good Times with Scar. So usually what I do is I have a talk with a person I'm doing branding for, and, you know, the usual questions of, hey, like, what vibes do you want? Do you have any ideas? Do you have any colors in mind? But also, there's a lot of different thoughts that go into this. Like, okay, what is your target audience? Like, what is your audience? And like, hey, how do you want to be viewed by people? Because for Scar, for instance, it's very important that he works with disabled people, and like advocating for people with disability is super important for him. So this is something that is going to be shown later in the design. So what I take with that is I basically make two mood boards that I just go completely different ways with, and we talk about it. We talk about what we like, what we don't like, what like font choices we have in mind, and from there I basically disappear for 2 days to 2 weeks. I have this thing with branding, especially. I never send clients sketches. I need to do this, because with graphic design I find it's very hard to kind of imagine where it's going to go. So how I end up with these 2 weeks is, you can see here a little bit of a sketch. Some of these, if you can go to the next slide.
Just a warning, the next slide you're going to see is probably the most professional thing I've seen in MCYT, like, ever.
Yeah, I got jealous.
And I just real quick,
So good.
do you just do like Photoshop? Do you work with vector at all, or
Both.
both? Yeah.
Yeah. Mhm.
Like this is all like not even all of this stuff was used. You just made like stuff that then just gets thrown away, never seen again.
Yeah, because this is for a client to kind of.
We've got a branding guide here where she's got like professional like fonts for him to use. There are color codes here.
Do you hand the people that you work with like do's and don'ts as well? So you obviously give them the colors that work well together, but do you give them like hard no's, like this would really clash with it and things like that?
I would love to. I don't have time.
Oh, okay, fair. It's just I know, and also the other question I had regarding colors is where a lot of times this will end up becoming merchandise. Do you ever lean towards color choices that would work in Pantones? Because some colors you can represent on a screen, but I know from experience that like my brand's color only works on monitors and phones and hex codes, but you can't get that specific shade of green in materials.
I
or
felt that
inks.
during TCG. We had to redo about half the cards because
the
we
physical
realized that the printing just you physically cannot print that shade of purple.
Yeah. So it's maybe a consideration if you're working with content creators or making stuff of your own to just look up Pantones. It's not a crazy complicated topic. You can usually just punch in a hex code and it will find you the nearest possible one. There's like really simple like pages on Google to do that.
Yep.
It's really cool.
Personally, when I choose colors, I definitely prioritize what works for that person.
Yeah.
Because we are still talking about like creators. So this is mostly online space, but I do keep it kind of in the back of my mind. I try to keep it in the back of my mind. But you can see here the designs fully cleaned up. I sometimes I do use. You can see like these logos. Some of the text is just the fonts. But I also do a little bit of freehand when you need it. I made 3 logos. This is what I usually do for people because, like, okay, you want your main logo and you want your icon, but you also want like a secondary logo to give it a little bit more of a flexibility. So, for instance, if you have a very tall logo, it's good to have also a rather like a more like a longer version for different spaces. I also always do a bunch of assets. I do a pattern that later we can use for merch. And what I said about like for Scar, for instance, when I said like, advocating for people with disability is super important. A small thing that is just like for me and Scar. A fun fact: Lexend is specifically a font designed to be very easy to read, which is just like
it's like the one that's good for like dyslexia and
Yeah,
stuff, right?
yeah.
Oh, cool.
Oh, me. So, for the Hermit TCG, it was a very, like, I was literally on a train when I got hired. So, like, when I was on the train itself, I was doing sketches of, like, or measurements to figure out just the actual shape and stuff of the card to get a vibe and get a feel for it. And then in like 2 days, Ivy just cracks out like about, I think she did like at least 24 different designs in like 2 days to get them. And then we ended up going with like the second option. But we went through like loads of different concepts. She even just used her old fan art as like a placeholder because like that's just not the cards that ended up being put out. But we wanted to figure out like legibility of the text on like the full art cards. We wanted to keep the original vibe from the TCG. So if the context, if you don't know what this is, the Hermitcraft TCG is a card game that was originally made on the Hermitcraft server. I don't know which season it was, but it was done using map arts by like placing the get blocks in game. But when we were making the real version, we obviously couldn't use any of the Minecraft assets because of just copyright things. But we wanted to keep that vibe, so we wanted to make sure we still had that kind of like, it's like the map color, like the yellow is very similar to the actual color of maps in Minecraft.
Oh, cool.
And also font-wise, wanted to make a font that was very legible with both numbers and letters, but kept that kind of like, I think we used Badaboom Pro.
I love that. It's such a classic font. It's like a comic style one, isn't it?
Yeah, it's comic style,
Really
and then we
nice.
use a different one for the actual small text because like the issue is like the font didn't scale super well, so it was good for the
Gotcha.
big numbers, but then the small stuff. And also, little fun fact: I was hired on as an artist, but then we realized we need someone to do all of the text, so I did all I did all of the text.
Oh my gosh.
And I think that I must have racked up at least 200 hours of just.
Oh.
And also another fun fact: we got the measurements wrong initially, so I had to do it twice.
Oh no.
Oh.
So yeah, I ended up having, and we had to like do because like, so much of it was just like it was like a single Discord text thread going over everything.
Yeah.
It's a lot more better now once like Creo has now started getting involved, but. It doesn't need to be like super professional. None of us were like actual graphic designers or anything like that. It's just about getting the vibe and the feeling of it, I think.
And also ensuring the mechanics of the game are just relayed and there's
Yeah.
something exciting to look at.
Making it understandable. We rewrote a lot of the text. 'Cause, like on the server, you could have as much text as you want because there's just like a text bubble. But on this, it's like once you go below like font size like 12, it's like you can't read it anymore. It's
Yeah.
gone, and it's just got to make sure it's readable and accessible and all that stuff.
Yeah,
Nice.
to be honest with things like this, like their readability, the way that you use it is the important part. Like that is the most important part of the design. Making it pretty is the fun part, but it's not the important part. These are the cards that are going to be played, so they need to be able to be playable.
Yeah, and like we made sure all of the all of the different item, like the little energy thing at the top right, like they had to make sure they're all different colors, completely different shapes, legible, like just from a glance, because well, that's the most important part of the game. You need those to be understandable.
I mean, even Minecraft themselves have done that. They've changed the textures of ores in recent years because
Yes,
even if
colorblind
you would-
stuff, yeah.
colorblind stuff. So you can actually see from the pattern shape. And basically, I think that'd be the same even in the work that you've done, Julia. Is like when you're making logos, you often want them to work in silhouette. If you were to make them flat black and white or grayscale, they still translate in the exact same way with the differences in how vivid or how bold they are between each of the elements in the logo as well.
Yep.
I think we've got time for a couple little questions. I feel like a lot of the questions we had prepped, we've already sort of like
I did mine by
Yeah.
accident.
yeah.
Yeah,
So I mean,
so-
I guess do we want to do just Q&A or do you want to do these ones?
First, can we
Let's just
see?
do anything that we haven't
Yeah,
talked
yeah,
about yet, because we are running a bit low
Yeah, I was
behind.
gonna
But
say,
I
I
would
think-
like to do audience Q&A.
I was gonna say, I think it's maybe only one. Like, I'm
Okay.
happy to drop my question. It was, where do I go looking for artists? Usually Tumblr. Like, I get stuff in the hashtag. It's basically Tumblr and Twitter. And weirdly, actually now TikTok has started to become a thing.
Yes.
People just post carousels, and it's coming up on my timeline. So, in terms of getting creators to see your art or getting your artwork out there in fandoms or into a professional capacity, building out a portfolio in that way is fun. And I love, like, when we did the MCC TCG, I wanted to work with as many different artists as possible. Some people had the same artist for all the cards, but I thought, no, I want to sort of like share the wealth, share the experience, because I think it'd be really cool and a unique opportunity for a bunch of them. So yeah, just the general social platforms. If there's a creator who you're particularly wanting to get your work in front of, just find out where they typically roam, see where they lurk. They may have said it publicly where they lurk, they may not have. So just post it in, I would say, Tumblr, TikTok, and
I was hired off of Reddit actually.
Oh really?
Yeah, I got a random DM. I was like, this has to be a bot. Like, there's no way that's actually
Yeah, so
him.
then that was the other I wanted to go over as like a group. I feel like a big important question for us is how
Yes.
each of us sort of got into this industry.
The transition into it,
Yeah.
yeah. So I mean, for you,
I remember it specifically. It was after, for us at least, it was Rats 1. You were looking for what to do for a thumbnail for the final
Yes.
edit. And you asked if, like, Twitter, you were like, should I do an illustration or Minecraft render? And I was like,
because I'd seen
I'm-
this uptick in people using illustrations in
like,
thumbnails.
I might be biased, but I think you should do an illustration. And then 5 minutes later, you DM'd me.
Yeah, and I think I probably sent you another horrific MS Paint drawing of me trying to
You did.
slash olive.
You did.
And
Yes.
it was, you made it look really, really good. And it's been fun working through that over the years. But I think I was already following you because, again, I have a genuine interest and a love for artwork people are making and the art form of it. So I think I was already following you, which
Yeah,
is how that
so
communication was able
At that
to
point, I
happen.
had like a handful of fan art. The big one that I did was like if Life Series was pixel art, like a RPG.
Yes.
So that's where you followed me.
Yeah.
And so that got my name sort of more out there.
Yeah.
And then you
What
said
about
you were
Susie?
hired on
How'd you
Reddit.
sneak in?
Yes, so I actually asked Beef, like specific, like a month after I got hired, I was like, what was it that made you want to hire me? And to quote him, he said, not really sure. I asked him like what thing he saw, and he did. I think he saw my like. I made a fan poster for one of Scar's charity events, and it just like I think it's just like he saw me draw lots of different people, and I thought, he can draw lots of people. Get him for the TCG, and it's just sometimes it's just right time, right place, really.
Not necessarily why I got kick-started with PAL specifically, but I want to reiterate how how important it can be to just be a fan artist in general. A lot of game companies actually do hire fan artists to make fan work of their game characters and stuff like that. And same goes with content creators who see their fans make fan art and be like, I really like this. I want to hire you as a thumbnail artist or a character designer, etc. So don't stop. Don't feel like doing fan art is not good enough for a portfolio. That can be important as well. But I feel like I'm on the different side where I don't necessarily get hired because like randomly from like different people online. I kind of like get hired through networking capabilities where people who know me and know who I am and know my work just in general because they either see it in passing or just know that I'm an artist and know that I've worked with other people is a good way as well. But outside of that, I'd recommend just building your portfolio is important, and that can be fan art. It doesn't have to be random stuff.
It's showing the range of the work you can do, because I
yeah.
genuinely have kept so many business cards from conventions. So if you ever come to an event like this and you meet a creator that you like and would maybe want to work with or for one day, having your card with a QR code or a web page to go to, and just being able to see the spread and the variety of what you can do. Like, I've genuinely still got like a small stack of, I think it's about probably 15, 16 cards that I'm like, I have some projects in mind for you one day. I'm just waiting on budget.
That's
so,
a
like,
good.
I have people I'm waiting to use.
That's a good thing to hit on as well, is that make it accessible for clientele to reach out to you. Whether that be something in your like social bios being like, here's my business email, or my DMs are open, or making a business card. Business cards are super helpful. I know sometimes people could be kind of annoyed getting handed a business card, but it is so useful to make it accessible. Do not hide it if you want people to reach out to you. Don't make it harder for them.
Yeah.
And for me, I actually, I've just finished my university. I jumped on Scarlet Art Book as a graphic designer, and I became friends with Hoffen through that. And it was like a year and a half. I kept sending my CV, my resume to different companies. I kept not getting anything. I think a lot of people can relate to that. And Hoffen had like a mission to get me a job, went on her own mission basically. And at the time, Wildlife has just started, and Green was looking for someone to take care of the merch store. And the merch store was supposed to basically go live like yesterday. And Jerry made the designs, but he was looking for someone to basically like make the site pretty, take care of the products, set up everything. And Hoffen, like he went to Hoffen to ask, and Hoffen just threw me at him. And I get a message from her, and I'm shaking like that. I go, yeah, sure, I can do that. I've never done that, but I can figure it out. Like you can, if you try, you can figure a lot of stuff out. And
make it up as you go along.
And through that, Grian apparently really liked working with me, because from that point onward, he then in turn made his mission to give me even more work, and he proceeded to throw me at everyone he knows.
I was also, he loves you so much. I was talking to him the other day, and he was like, we brought up Julia, and he turned to another creator, was like, don't take Julia from me. She's mine.
People get so protective. Same with editors as well. It happens in the editing space.
Oh yeah, definitely
So
a lot of
good.
editors.
I think we could probably get time for like a handful of questions.
I did.
which would be
I actually
good.
had how Hoffen got into the industry.
Yes. Yeah. Let's
so
do this.
verbatim, Hoffen said 3 hermits grabbed me at once in the span of a few weeks for different reasons. One, Vintage Beef, who wanted to change the Minecraft rendering style of the TCG cards to a more simplistic one. Then Exuma, who requested items for his Bone Mage Sona. And then 3, and Scar, who liked my work for MCC, bought the Aqua Axolotl's beach episode skins and then commissioned me for Double Life. So it was very much like a right time, right place for 3 different occasions in like 1 week.
That's a when it rains, it pours situation, isn't it?
Do you think they communicated, or is it just completely?
I don't know.
No.
No idea to find out.
We're always lurking. That's how it happens. We'll just all pounce at once. It's great.
We have seen your fan art, and we love it.
Yeah. So yeah, I think we can do a few questions. What would be the happiest way to do this? Do we just pick hands in the crowd and the mic goes to them?
We have a couple in the side. We have a couple.
Yeah, cool. Let's just go over here first. And it could be for an individual, the whole panel, whatever you prefer.
Hello. I just have like, as an artist, as someone who like takes inspiration from a lot of people, I have two little questions that are connected. I know, for example, Cherry and Julia, you have done animatics in the past as well. I wonder what kind of medium all of you guys would like to try, and if you have any inspiration from any artists or artist friends that you would like, I don't know, to say.
Every time I see Noxolotl on my timeline doing some weird, like some crazy animation, I'm like, I want to do that. But it's so hard. Animation is so difficult, but it's so good.
I do just puppet animation, like mostly puppet animation, and I look at them like I want to know how to do that, but I don't think I have time to figure it out, but I really want to know.
I mean, Julia, you have also done like really cool like live series animations. Like, for example, one of my favorites is the red one. red, and like that's why that's the first thing I thought, like I know you two have done, like, and this is a question for all of you, like what other things would you like to try?
I think I want to try and get more 3D modeling stuff, like making custom assets, and because it just lets you do more role play, having just something like, rather than saying this is a stick, it's like, oh, this is a cool sword. That's like a I want to expand that.
I think for me, I want to expand on pixel art. I've been trying for a couple of years now. I think I need to sit down and actually read through like theory, like especially color theory. Like even on my most recent thumbnail for the Flight SMP, it was Snifferish, who is insanely talented, and Jojo as well has got such an eye for specifically the YouTube algorithm for artwork. That's the other thing to consider with working with creators is there's what looks the best, and then there's also what is clickable. So sometimes you'll have to compromise on that creativity somewhat, but if you talk it through with the content creator you're working with, like it shouldn't be too bad. You can find a happy medium.
Do you get another question now?
Yeah, another question. Let's go for right at the back there. I'm going to make you run. Sorry.
There, the mic's coming to you.
Yeah, the mic's coming to you. I was apologising to the lovely man in the red shirt. Hello.
Okay, so I have a question. I've been doing graphic design since 2018, so I'm asking this for my sake. I've never made a single cent, but what I want to know is what tips would you give me when it comes to like planning things and getting myself out of blocks? For example, when I try to make like a texture that's tiling, I spend like an hour trying to make it tile. How do I get out of that block?
It's just kind of it's like an hour. Sounds like a lot, but it really isn't. It's just a case of keep doing it, and eventually you'll get what you like, and then over time you'll get quicker and quicker and quicker until you don't need to think about it as much.
I was going to say, I wish I knew how to get out of art block.
There's been times that I've come to you for a thumbnail.
And I've been like, I don't know.
Yeah, and I've genuinely delayed episodes because I was like, you don't need to stress about this.
I genuinely, I think there's some thumbnails out there too that I'm just not proud of because you can't really. Sometimes you just can't wait. You can't let it hold off forever.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I know from the little experience that I've had doing art stuff that genuinely just stop for a moment, take a breather, either literally go for a walk, go make a drink, or work on something else. So you're still sat there honing your craft, still putting the hours in, come back to it the next day, come back to it in a few hours, unless it's something that's really pressing. Like, making stuff tileable is a nightmare anyway. There are some like guide sheets online and tutorials, but with vector work or even pixel art work, it's tricky. But yeah, from experience, take a break, take a breather, and come back to it. And you might, sometimes with fresh eyes, just have that eureka moment.
I have an even sadder advice, which is I also often, especially with client work, I find it, where it's like, you have to finish this. There is no, oh, I don't feel like it, my art block is just not, you have to finish it. Is sometimes the best way, if you get stuck on something very, very long, just kill it. It's sad, but it works. Sometimes you spend like 8, 12 hours going at a sketch. It doesn't work. Your brain doesn't like it for some reason. Kill it. Start from the scratch. It really, really frees you because you kind of get stuck if you just like keep going at something and it keeps not working. You can even like keep it on the side. Maybe you can take some elements from it, but starting from scratch is really so freeing.
Sorry to interrupt, but we have like one last thing before we finish.
Yeah, we
got a phone.
But I have a phone call.
Hi, Hoffen. Hoffen is on the line.
Oh,
is it gonna work?
Everyone say hi to Hoffen.
Oh, hi to Hoffen.
We miss you, Hoffen.
Wait, let's see if.
Thank you guys for coming and appreciating our artist.
Man.
Thank you, Hoffen.
Work that goes behind.
Thank you very much, everybody. We very much appreciate it.
Run, making them work.
Wait, sorry, say that again, Hoffen.
So yeah. It is really
Yeah.
important to know who's working behind the scenes to making all your fave SMPs run.
Yes, we love artists.
Very good. Thank you, Hoffen. Bye-bye.
There we go. Do we have to
Thanks,
wrap? Or
Bye. Bye.
do we have time for one more question, or have we got to wrap? We could do one more. Perfect. Okay. Let's bounce.
You're awesome, everyone.
Let's come to the front. We'll go for you right there. Tell you what, you take my mic. That'll help.
So when it comes to making portfolios, would you recommend just sticking to social media or having something like a website portfolio or something more
Do a
professional?
website.
Do a website.
Do a website.
But also, if you're an artist on Twitter or Tumblr, make sure your media tab is clear and it's just
That
your
is
work.
very important. And
'Cause
you
people
want
will-
your media tab to be just clean.
Yeah.
You don't want any, like, as fun as they are, like memes and stuff, like you want like someone looking at your account. They're like, oh, I like this fan art. What else have they done? They're going to go straight to your media tab and you want that to be clean of just your art. But that's also where having a website is also important because someone might, instead of going to the media tab, they might look at your bio and be like, oh, there's a link, and they'll open up the website, which you want a clean website of all your favorite pieces and what you're most proud of.
Be everywhere.
Be everywhere.
Is this why you all have alt accounts? I noticed artists in particular have alt accounts. Is it so you can just meme it up on one
Yes.
and stay professional on the other?
Exactly, yes.
Usually, yes.
And I think that is our panel. Thank you very much.
Thank
if
you
you'd all
so
join
much
me,
for
a round of
coming.
applause for our artists. Thank you very much. Have an amazing TwitchCon, everybody. Thank you.